this be the beginning of mass resignations in Westminster to try and topple Keir Starmer? We've just had Steph Driver, Keir Starmer's Director of Communications, decide to resign. Now, we've had a lot of resignations, which we will run through in a moment, that have been incredibly embarrassing to Keir Starmer because of people being marred in scandal. But this case seems a little bit different. Steph Driver doesn't seem to have done anything particularly disastrous, but she has decided to resign. Is it because she is unhappy with Keir Starmer's leadership and she wants him gone? Let's take a look at some of the details. This is incredibly embarrassing for Keir Starmer to be losing his Director of Communications in what many are describing as an exodus of key Downing Street staff. She is the fourth senior figure in Number 10 in their media operation to quit their role in the past 6 months. She's only been in her position since the spring. Her departure is the latest sign of instability after a tumultuous few weeks, the Telegraph are saying, in which Keir Starmer lost Angela Rayner and Lord Mandelson. It really does feel like a very chaotic situation. I can't keep up with the number of resignations. Let's just give ourselves a little bit of a reminder as to who has had to be sacked or has resigned since Keir Starmer came into power. Let's start off with Sue Gray. She was the Chief of Staff, who's not meant to be in the press, it's meant to be quiet and behind the scenes, but suddenly was all over the papers when we found out that she was being paid a completely ridiculous salary and was being quite naughty with giving out passes to Downing Street relating to Lord Ali's family members and whatnot, all very dodgy. Louise Haigh, whole scandal over her stealing her phone. Remember that? That was some time ago. Hard to keep up because there are so many scandals. Remember Tulip Sadiq, the corruption minister who had to resign because we found out she's being investigated for, guess what, corruption by Bangladesh. Oh, and then we had the homelessness minister have to go because she decided to evict her own tenants. That's interesting. And then, of course, we had Angela Rayner have to go after she, the housing minister, decided to buy a third home and skip 40 grand of stamp duty, apparently by accident. And then, of course, Peter Mandelson has had to be sacked. Didn't just resign, was sacked because of his very, very dangerously close links to Epstein, even after his convictions. Then another one, which you may not have heard so much noise about, is Paul Ovenden, who just had to go because of some naughty sexual comments he made on WhatsApp about Diane Abbott. And surely Morgan McSweeney is next on the chopping board. The story is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger about him. Well, there was first the story of him apparently rumoured to have kept information from Starmer about Peter Mandelson, and now the big story is that it sounds like he did not, after we saw leaked emails, he did not properly declare 739 grand of donations to Labour Together. Tut, tut, tut. So it is really, really chaotic. But those are all people who resigned or were sacked. Well, Morgan McSweeney not yet, but potentially soon, because of scandal. But the resignation we're seeing today, of course, we don't know a huge amount of details. I don't believe we have, some big statement from her saying that she's marred in any scandal. There's a chance that maybe they asked her to resign because, let's be honest, the comms out of Number 10 have been pretty poor over the past year. They haven't been able to get very many good headlines out about how their governance is going. Maybe she's just incompetent and they asked her to resign, but I'm not sure about that. This is probably, I think, the start of resignations to send a message to Starmer to say, we don't have faith in you, we want you to step down as Keir Starmer. Andy Burnham has been in the news a lot again today. He has decided, he said to the press, I don't rule out an attempt to topple Starmer as leader within the next few months, and apparently a lot of MPs are telling Andy Burnham, please go for it. And there's been some polling coming out suggesting that Labour could actually beat Reform if Andy Burnham becomes leader. I'm a little bit sceptical of that, but it feels like the herd in Westminster is moving out spec. We could see some more resignations. Let's take a look at a couple of tweets, and the last one is going to be quite shocking. so make sure you stay around for that. But before we get into these, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Anyway, Simon Danjuk says 10 Downing Street is in meltdown. Starmer is losing grip of his government and the British public have to sit and watch it like a car crash in slow motion. This is not leadership, this is weak ineffectiveness. If Labour MPs don't push for their PM to stand down, it'll be on them, not holding back at all. This made me laugh. Adam Cherry from Guido says, what phase is this? That's a very good question. Remember Starmer announced phase 2 to try and draw a line under the disastrous phase 1, whatever that was, and say, oh, it's all going to be hunky-dory, happy days now, everything is going to go smoothly. Now Parliament is back after summer, but nothing good has happened. Let's be honest, it has been scandal after scandal after scandal. It's not going well. Are we in phase 3 now? Is this phase 3? Is this phase 4? I don't know. Beth Rigby, political editor at Sky News, says Steph Driver joined Starmer when he was having a very rough patch back in 2021 and alongside Matthew Doyle took the Prime Minister through that period into election campaign and onto victory. So a very trusted aide to the PM. Her departure is just one of a number of big changes at number 10 in recent weeks. Because a lot of people pointed out, oh, she only started her job back in the spring, which I did tell you at the beginning of this video, but she has worked with him in different roles since 2021, so you would think she's a good friend to Starmer, but she's decided to resign. Maybe in the next few days we'll get some more details. Now, this is the shocking tweet that really caught my eye. So after the news came out that the Director of Communications had resigned, the Rest of Is Politics podcast decided to share that on their Twitter and say, if only there was someone who could step in, someone made for this exact role. Is Alastair Campbell announcing that he wants to come back and be Starmer's Director of Comms? Does he think that he can save the sinking ship? Very ominous, posting it not from his personal account, but on the Rest is Politics account, where he is one of the podcasters alongside Rory Stewart. Very, very interesting. I'm really surprised that this tweet hasn't gone bigger. When I've screenshotted this, it's on only 40k. People haven't really picked up on this, but it looks like Alastair Campbell is trying to throw his hat in the ring to be the Director of Communications. Maybe I'm reading that wrong, but that is how I read it. Do they really want him there? All the scandal that he has around the Iraq war and everything. But I think it's fair to say he's got quite a big ego. So maybe he thinks that regardless of all the scandal around the Iraq war, everyone will love him and he'll be absolutely amazing. Let's see. And on that note, let's bring this video to an end. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. It's free and it massively helps us out. Thank you very much for watching.